Namaste, I'm Archana Pami. Welcome back to my channel. This is the how-to for Vatayanasana, also known as the flying horse pose or horse face pose. So the final resulting action is what it's going to look like, the face of a horse. It's an elongated posture, a very beautiful posture, but at the same time very intense. Again, a caution, if you have any sorts of joint injuries with your knees, with your feet, your ankle especially, and hips, please avoid this asana. So I will show you how to get into it. There is not much that you can do in terms of props here, because you can just get into the initial posture and wait there. But to get into the final posture, you need to bend your knees from standing posture, and maybe to offset the height, you can probably place a block or a small rolled up blanket to give that height initially, so that you don't go and bend fully and hit the floor and hurt yourself. Now, I have not mastered this asana, especially the movement of the asana to the final posture. So I do stumble and take some shortcuts in between the way, and I will tell you what they are as well. So let's get started. Please ensure that you have done a little bit of hip opening. So you could have done a butterfly pose, hip opener, or you could have done any of the previous poses that I put up in this series, which is the Ekapada Raja Kapotasana and even Hanumanasana or splits or Ardha splits or any sort of lunges as well. Why? Because we are going to bend one of the hips and we are going to keep it we are going to bend the leg. We are going to keep the hips open throughout the asana. So it helps if you have done a little bit of warm-up. Otherwise, it's just going to make it a little bit more difficult. So we'll start with the right leg first. What we're going to do is we're going to start standing. Now, you just inhale, lift the right foot, and you're going to place it on top of your left hip, the place where the hip joins the upper thigh. Now, the asana from here generally is fix a gaze, because you're going to balance here as we move into the final posture. But since I'm still, so this is where you start from. Now from here we are going to actually kneel down and place this right knee on the mat. Now ideally you can actually squat and kneel. If you're fully comfortable with that, go ahead and do it. I'm not, so I'm going to release my hand and take the support of the hand to place the leg down. Now this is the legs posture. Slowly adjusting the left leg, so I have some room to lift my body up and my arms in eagle arms position, Garudasana position, and slowly releasing, lifting back up and releasing. So that was the complete flow of Vatayanasana. You can't believe the amount of burn I'm having in the right hip, more so in the knee, because I already have a little bit of inflammation or problem with my knee. I do this once in a while, and I do a lot of other asanas to relax my knee, so you don't have to worry about it. But please be careful when you do this. You saw how intense it is. I'm literally struggling for breath right now. So let's try this on the other side, the left hand side as well. So yeah, and the final pose, when you get down there, you can place your arms in whatever positions that you want. You can just keep them in prayer pose, elbows together, the forearms, touching each other, and just in that prayer pose. The most intense variation there is when you bind in to eagle arms. You put your right hand over the left or the left hand over the right, whatever works fine. So let me see, I'm more comfortable with the right hand side, and now I've tried the left hand side. So let me see how that goes now. To start off, fix a point, fix your gaze on a particular point, so you're not thinking too much. The moment you start thinking too much, you're going to start wobbling and lose your balance. So fixing the gaze really helps, because you're just concentrating on the point and you forget what is happening here, which is often how balance is attained. So inhale, place the feet right between the place where the hip joins the thigh. Find the balance and slowly approach, either using the hands by the side to do that flying horse pose, or just bend the hand in front. Adjust the other leg. Adjust the other leg, and then if possible attain the arms. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that, so I'm just going to release from here. So the thing with my left hip is not that completely open, so if I try to do these kind of things, I always find my left a little bit tighter. So it was not opening enough for the knee to stay rested, and I had to bend too much. So I could feel a little bit of tension here as the feet was also slipping down there. Right was way more comfortable than my left. So this is quite possible it could be the reverse for you as well. So that was Vatayanasana, the flying horse pose. Again, flying because of the action of you getting into the pose, and horse face pose, because the final resulting thing is that long face of a horse that you can see with the arms, and then the bent legs that forming the legs in the area of the horse. Here is a quick recap of the asana's benefits and modifications and who should avoid it. So for the modifications, the only thing is that you can keep your hands out in the front or by your sides and approach the balancing act to kneel without any support. You can also do this against the wall if required, holding the walls for support. The benefits are it strengthens the arms and leg muscles and the joints, and a very good pose for concentration as it is a balancing pose. Please avoid if you have any sort of back pain or any joint injuries like in your hips or your knees, or even your shoulders if you're trying to do that full eagle arms bind. And this is very intense, so please do practice some amount of hip openers and knee mobility before you approach this asana. So that was another asana that we covered in this animal inspired series. I hope you like this. Please share your feedback and suggestions. Namaste.